And it was very narrow, technological. The ones that went the best were the ones that were mixed. There was no one that was really structured, but there were some mixed methods.
This is education happens with people.
They were still missing.
Okay. Hi. Hi. Welcome to the Voices of the Revolution poems from the Resisterhood. Thank you all so much. We want to say thank you to Scott for opening up the shop for us when we first announced our book. She's got something to say.
He's just so excited to be here with us.
There you go. Welcome. Poetry. Scott immediately offered this up for our launch when we first let it be known that we had this book, and we are very, very grateful. We also want to thank you all for your donations to Helping Women, period. There's a spot back there for menstrual products, and there's also a way that you can contribute financially through a QR code if you didn't bring anything with you. We want to say thank you to all of you. We're really excited to be here and to perform at home with our family, and we hope that you will stay after the reading. We have some snacks from Jerusalem Bakery, and we will be signing and selling books. I'm going to start by introducing everyone. I guess I should start with myself. I'm Tari Muñiz. And this is Lisa Sarno. Shelia Burks. Laurie Hollinger. Griffin. Ruelaine Stokes. And also Voices member Susan Harris, who is not performing with us today, but so I'm going to turn it over to Laurie for a little invocation.
Thanks for being here, everyone. As part of the essay, Now Let Us Shift, the path of conocimiento, inner work, public acts, with which she closes out this bridge we call home, Gloria Anzaldúa offers this prayer. May the roaring force of our collective creativity heal the wounds of hate, ignorance, indifference, dissolve the divisions, creating chasms between us. Open our throats, so we who fear speaking out raise our voices. By our witnessing, find connections through our passions. Pay homage to those whose backs served as bridges. We remember our dead.
Thank you.
How slowly it goes down. I'm going to read a poem that is from the Poems of the Resisterhood, from the Resisterhood. It's a poem that I'm dedicated to my mother. My mother passed away in 2012 with Lewy body dementia. And throughout her whole life, she was always seen as she has a sweet spirit. Everybody loved her, but despite
absolutely right, brother.
Despite the everyone just loving her and all that she did for everyone and people, the community, friends, family, she was always sad. She always did not think very highly of herself. So this poem is something that I wish, I don't want to start crying, that I wish I could have said to her before her birth. It's called My Mother's Worth. May the creation of you bestow praise and honor on your lineage. May the blossoming of love and its gorgeous rush guide your passage. May you come to know that respect is one of the most meaningful can receive. May you celebrate the uniqueness of everyone you encounter, exuding kindness. May the goddesses cradle you through the summits and canyons of life. May you dance fearlessly in glorifying the rhythms of the world with boundless joy. May the memories of those cherished and departed bring you solace. May the tender hands of your ancestors draw you closer, raising you to your sacred realm. May peace find you as your essence ascends over the sun's radiance. And may you finally know your worth. This next piece is called A New National Anthem by Limón, who was our former U.S. Poet Laureate. Just a little bit more. The truth is, I've never cared for the national anthem. If you think about it, it's not a good song. Too high for most of us with the rocket's red glare. And then there are bombs. Always, always, there's war and bombs. Once I sang it at homecoming and threw even the tenacious high school band off key. But the song didn't mean anything. Just a call to the field, something to get through before the pummeling of youth. And what of the stanzas we never sang? The third stanza that mentions no refuge can save the hireling and the slave. Perhaps the truth is, every song of this country has an unsung third stanza, something brutal snaking underneath us as we blindly sing the high notes with the beer sloshing in the stands, hoping our team wins. Don't get me wrong, I do like the flag, how it undulates in the wind, elemental and best when it's humbled, brought to its knees, clung to someone who has lost everything, when it's not a weapon, when it flickers, when it folds up so perfectly you can keep it until it's needed, until you can love it again. A song where the notes are sung by the ageless woods, the short grass plains, the Red River Gorge, that's sung in silence when it's too hard to go on, that sounds like someone's rough fingers weaving into another's, that sounds like a match being lit in an endless cave. The song that says, my bones are your bones, and your bones are my bones. And isn't that enough?
Nice.
This next piece is entitled Bring Them Home 1. You'll understand that later. It's after June Jordan. I want to know what happened to the First Amendment, created to protect our fundamental rights and limit the power of the government, ensuring us of individual freedoms. Our freedom of religion is desecrated by fake Christians, savagely invading places of worship, slaughtering worshipers in cold blood. I want to know why Thomas Stanford hated Mormons, that he rammed his truck, opened fire, and set ablaze the Church of Latter-day Saints, killing an 8 and 10-year-old. I want to know why our different religious beliefs influence so much hate that murdering someone is the answer. I want to know what happened to our freedom of speech, the words of our resistance, twisted and buried by MAGA maniacs distorting and silencing us. I spies on our social media posts to collect and analyze public and private data for investigation and to monitor protest. I want to know what happened to our freedom of speech, our freedom of press. Joy Reid, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert viciously targeted for their political and satirical commentaries. I want to know what facts they revealed that sparked the president's retaliation. I want to know what happened to our freedom to assemble, to peacefully protest our civil rights. Instead, our rights are violently ripped from our hands by criminals with badges. I want to know how Kyle Rittenhouse pleaded self-defense and was acquitted of 5 charges for killing 2 men at a Black Lives Matter protest. I want to know how we can take the target off the backs of women, people of color, the disabled, trans, and queer activists. I want to know how to stop this. Our freedom to petition lawmakers racially and economically suppressed, voting machines and jurisdictions deceptively altered, mail-in ballots discarded, corrupt Republicans annihilate our democracy. I want to know when everyone's vote will matter. I want to know when righteousness fuels the soul of our country. Bring back our freedoms.
I guess I go. Hi. I'm Lisa Sarno. Where's that growling dog? Because I felt right at home. Oh yeah, I feel at home. Thanks for coming out today. Yeah, nice. I could think of like nothing more revolutionary right now than like to be able to be critically to critically think about the world around you. It's nice when we think alike, but to be critical, to just remain critical in what other direction. For me, like back in the day, it was like Molotov cocktails and middle fingers and ripping and running and tearing shit up. That was for me like revolutionary. And I'm not saying that I'm not still up for that thing. Like, this is where it's at now. This is where it's at. Thank you for coming. Recently, like, getting older kind of sucks, or, some days it does and some days it doesn't, and thank God for poetry in that. But in 2020, I found my birth mother. So I'm adopted, and I never really messed with that idea, and since then, it's a long story, but I started exploring adoption a little more, and then I found it. Like, I actually found the theme from writings before that I hadn't even really thought about it, had different meaning for me. So this comes from my book, Grasping at Stars, and I call this Thin Lines. Clinging to a mother's shoulders as if holding all of life's bounties in that one moment. Wanting to make it all better, wishing these hands could heal the lines that hold us together like leaves that spring from the bough. If this moment was the one that mattered, not the time she let go of my hand at the salty edge of the Atlantic. Mother was afraid to hold on tight to a child who did not wrestle from her own womb. She feared she could not hold back the deep longing for something fuller than the crown she wore. Through thick and thin, this child holds on to what is held out for them, never sure of deserving either, right? But longing through thin lines spun from wounds wrapped 3 times around the earth. Now the wind bends a certain way, and these lines pull me back to her shoulders, afraid to let go and unsure just how to hold on. So it was some early stuff from graduate. And then I got to be a part of these wonderful people with this book. And then I directly decided to confront some issues of adoption and stuff. So I call this one Black Mama. I never had a black mama to show me how to grab my hair and tease it to the tunes of Treasure. No black mama to show me when to fix my face, swallow indigestion to spit it out later in the gutter. There's no black mama to blueprint where the landmines are buried and I detonate one after another without a black mama to remind me that I'm black. I will never be white, no matter how skillful, hopeful, or polite, or how well I mix that spoonful of sugar that makes medicine go down. I never had a black mama to teach me to suck air through my teeth, spew my appetite, curb my appetite to spew curses. There's no black mama to rock me back and forth in the cradle of lore where black is beauty and she's queen. I never had a black mama to adorn my wide nostrils with silver, like make them shine like moons. no black mama to reflect what black can be when you carry your big-footed, wide-hip frame down the runway. I never had a black mama to help my white mama understand that the talented 10th don't sleep as well as the rest. No black mama to explain to my white mama that money will not buy the comfort she longs for in the middle of those daily labors. I never had a black mama laugh with all of her teeth showing to the notion that a white mama would forbid the sun's kisses from darkening my skin. No black mama to tell my white mama it was not her fault, for love was not enough to ease the confusion for the black girl who will never be white. I recently did this really fun thing. I got together with Happen Dance group from East Lansing or Okemos, and then these women from Kalamazoo, and they have a group. I don't know, there's a trio, but they call themselves Aurora and Athea, and I couldn't figure that out, but it was wonderful, and we did this whole production together, and with dance, poetry, and music. 3 art forms woven together. It was beautiful. I wrote this for them, but not really. I just wrote this. But I did write this for them. I call this the soul. I didn't share with you the soul that wanders the night sky feeling for your heartbeat. The soul that counts the 4, waits to come in on the 1 because 2 and 3 are taken. It's okay, the soul says the 1 is all we need. I didn't tell you about the soul that looks to connect in the aisles of grocery stores, at traffic lights, and in hallways. Like a forever labor for one who lives with shadows begging to inhabit flesh. The soul finds the truth beating on the 1. And the wonder is that your echoing heartbeat doesn't bring me closer to you, but finally and tenderly, it brings me closer to my own. Thanks for your ears, thanks for your heart. It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. Bring them home, too. I want to know how people can vanish, not like smoke, but ledgers left in the rain with the ink of their lives bleeding across profit lines on papers stitched in barbed wire and handcuffs. Somewhere the lawmaker lifts his pen, signs another body into the margins, every body a line item, every breath a taxable deduction, every tear-filled phone call, every scrap of soap, every snack stuffed under a shirt, every fingerprint and unpaid debt adding up to the crooked arithmetic of capitalism. I want to know how hymns squeeze through steel bars and kites fly from cell to cell, pulled by strings of prayers for a rescue or for a stamp or for a poem, a picture drawn from Kool-Aid packs, a piece of yesterday's dessert, enough toilet paper to make a sanitary pad, or just a racket so people don't forget you're there. I want to know why we build a hideous monster who eats heartily on 1,900,000 daughters, sons, mothers, children, and still has room for cake. I want to know how a big thief earns the favor to cut off the hands of the little thief. I want to know when we'll stop disappearing the poor, serving time under justice. When will we bring home the people we left on the streets, when the shelters closed, when the hospitals gave up, when the jobs were signed away, when the terror grew too large, when trauma became the meal of the day? When will we bring our prisoners home?
Hi, everybody. I'm Ruelaine, and I too am very, very grateful that you've come out today. It's cold, and I know when I'm cold, sitting at home and it's warm there, the urge to join together with other people and the urge to just sink into the warmth pull at me. And I'm so appreciative, really genuinely appreciative that you chose to take your time to come out today. These days, given what's going on in our country, I feel within my body and within my brain, I feel a struggle between pessimism and optimism. You know, they sort of talk to one another. And I tend to be biologically in my body optimistic and to believe that things will get better. And that comes from the fact that my life got bad, and then it got much, much, much tremendously better. And that was because people did things to make it better. So I know that better can happen, and so usually I try to focus on that. I have 2 poems, and I was thinking, these poems aren't revolutionary. Why did I want to choose these 2 poems? One's about my mom, one's about my grandmother. But I realized that revolution begins inside our soul, inside our minds, you know, and comes outward. And both these poems show how those changes can happen between people. And sometimes small events can make a big, big difference. I'll start with my grandmother, who actually was astounding. One of these women who, you know, was a force. I have a little picture, it's like so tiny. It was taken like 1920s. It looks like a drugstore picture, and she's holding like an old-fashioned, she's holding that black cone to her head and something like this, and she looks so cute. She's got the little white beret on. Drugstore Photo, 1920. In her white beret, my grandmother looks fearless. Her face flawless as a child's, a hint of a smile on her lips. She's holding a candlestick telephone, the black cone of the receiver pressed to one ear, the mouthpiece in front of her, round as an apple. If, across all the mad junctures of time, I could call her on that phone, I would say, "Gram, you saved my life." I would not be born for 24 years. She could not know she would marry a man who would fly into the sky only to fall down. She could not know she would meet a sailor who could not dance but could fix anything, including the broken heart of a young widow with 3 small children. Not a common thing to save a life. When I was 12, Gram and Gramps saw I was in trouble, sent a ticket to bring me back to California, asked me if I wanted to stay. Not a common thing. It saved me. Gram and Gramp, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, that house on Rice Canyon Road, the coffee pot on the stove, the big-bellied refrigerator, the sink where I scrubbed dishes, gazing out at hills growing black under a red gold sky. The big bed in my room swallowed me each night. The little space heater woke me up in the morning. My school books walked me to school. Even now, I see myself standing in Gram's kitchen, pouring a cup of coffee from the glass pot, placing it beside her as she sat reading the newspaper, her glasses low on her nose. Breakfast was finished. Sunlight was streaming over the valley, and I was sure we would all live forever. I would so like to talk to that woman. There's so much in my heart. I need to tell her she was right about a lot of things. I didn't say it at the time, but I can say it now. My mother was like really sort of like, you know, so different. My grandmother was like practical. She could save your life. She could do anything. She knew what was going on. My mother was a wild, crazy artist who got in trouble. This is called Elm Place. It's an old farmhouse in East Lansing that got turned into little efficiency apartments, and I was living in a little one-room efficiency, and my mom came to visit. Elm Place. I was poor and living in paradise. That efficiency on Elm Place, which my mom found cramped, the futon on the floor, the stove that didn't work, the bathroom I shared with Mike, the enigmatic waiter. 2 huge French windows open to the sun, each of them a portal into Michigan in 4 seasons of glory. In summer, green gold light, elm and maple, fat robins and a persistent cardinal, the quicksilver sounds of children playing on the swings a block away. In fall, leaves painted the lawn bittersweet orange and burnt yellow. In winter, it was an ice palace. In spring, rebirth. Yet the room was small. Mom had come all the way from Montana and could not stop talking. I yelled at her about my childhood, put her on the train to Aunt Berdilla in Port Huron. 3 weeks later, when I picked her up, she was young, like a girl, and laughing. We drove to the art store and bought oil pastels and really good paper. In the photo I took that day, she's sitting by the window in a swatch of sun, her eyes cast down on the image emerging before her. You can see a tree trunk and gold leaves, her tanned, big-knuckled hand drawing the line that forms the earth. And I love Bring Them Home, poem 2. This is number 3. This is called How to Make People Disappear. Create your own army. Advertise. Offer $50,000 to $77,000 a year, plus a $50,000 signing bonus, plus benefits. Tell them if they break the law, you've got their backs. Target the vulnerable. Call them criminals, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, thugs. Do not go after murderers, rapists, drug dealers, thugs. They are dangerous, have guns, will fight back. Besides, you may need allies. Announce quotas. Up the quotas. Strip immigrants of legal status and protections. Target foreign students if they protest the genocide, say they are anti-Semitic. Set up detention camps. Use military bases and hotels, soft-sided tent structures, private detention centers, and contracts with private prison companies. If there are deaths, ignore them. Give money to third countries and have them put your immigrants in prison. El Salvador, Libya, South Sudan, Honduras, Uganda, Eswatini, Rwanda, Ghana, Equatorial Guinea, Costa Rica, Panama. Arrange flights. Advertise for more agents. Keep upping the quota. Don't worry if they arrest citizens. Children drive off with a baby. Broken bones, no problem. Arrest protesters. Use the word illegal and alien often. Pretend you don't know what you are doing is illegal and alien. Millions will demand you release your victims. Tell them you cannot bring them home.
A few years ago, Planned Parenthood put out a call for women to tell their abortion stories. And so I wrote this poem in response, and I gave it to Planned Parenthood, and we share it, so they let me read it. It's called Choice. Maybe I was raped, maybe not. I had one. Maybe to do otherwise would have killed me. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe I was young, poor, scared, overwhelmed, alone. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe I had to crowdsource fund it. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe it was my father, brother, uncle, or someone they sold me to. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe my best friend's older sister drove me to another city, forged the parental consent forms. I was 15. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe I was escorted through an evil, screaming mob. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe I already had enough children. Maybe I don't really care for children. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe I had more than one. Maybe I had the foresight and sense of terror to buy the Blue Cross rape insurance rider. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe I had one in the hospital, in the maternity ward. Babies cry all night long. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe there was a genetic likelihood of something horrific, and I chose not to prolong the inevitable. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe it was as gentle as possible. People who loved me gave me ice cream and a heating pad when I got home. Maybe not. I had one. Maybe the choice was made by someone else and wasn't what I wanted. Maybe not. I had one. I had one. The rest of the story is none of your fucking business. And this one is for the Stonogrammas. You know who you are. Ode to old women. Sagging tits and maternal regrets. There is an intimacy among old women. We gather around tables, fire bowls, and screens, casting circles of safety, knowing and being known, with weed, wine, and the depth and breadth of all that we are. We laugh until we pee a little. Then we laugh because we peed. Then someone snorts and it starts all over again. We laugh until we cry, shed occasional tears, and offer libations to our mothers. We mother each other in ways our mothers couldn't, in ways we did not mother our children. We break out our best to feed one another. We break into song frequently. In each other's arms, we break out of the shackle of a lifetime of patriarchy. Old enough to know, shit gets different. Aging is an appalling marvel. This is home for secrets and fears and unacknowledged traumas. Profound competence is our superpower. Here, we are never invisible. Bring them home for. I want to know how testosterone-laden, lawless man camps lurk in the shadows of Indian country, extracting resources, raping and murdering the land, extracting women, raping and murdering them up to 10 times more often than most women are missing, raped, and murdered. They take and rape from the cities too. Indigenous women hurt at home, Indigenous women's bodies found far from home. I want to know how crimes fall between jurisdiction canyons that just don't give a fuck. No arrest, no convictions, not even any data collection. No funding, nor respect for sovereignty. Cases cold as their unidentified bodies. Justice that mocks and lets them get away with it. From colonialism, genocide, systemic violence, spiritual violence, forced sterilization, boarding schools, to family desecration. I want to know about the last moments of Linda Mary Beardy, age 33. She is from the Lake St. Mountain First Nation. Her body was discovered in a landfill. I want to know about the last moments before Savannah Standing Bear, age 23, of the Rosebud Sioux tribe, was found in the early morning hour, was last seen in the early morning hours of March 25th, 2005. I pray their terror became peace as their spirits soared. They never came home. So many grandmothers, girls, trans people, two-spirits vanished. Soft soil makes burial easier. Scavengers often carry away human remains. Disposing their bodies in water removes forensic evidence. Some women disappear to survive home. Those who remain fight for the missing, pay reverence to the dead, take to the streets, the last seen dates tattooed on the souls of mourners, wear red to call their spirits back, wear red painted hands across their mouths for the voices silenced. Say their names, bring them home.
Look at this. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be reading out the book where my stuff is.
Yeah.
Reach
Yeah.
out, girl.
Oh my goodness. Delight to see you all out here today. This poem is about legacies, whether we like them or not. On the origin of a stain. Fairly certain it's mine. Spotless when Mom handed them to me. I thought you might want these, she said. Fairly certain it's mine. Yes, of course, I said, thank you. And it might just be chocolate. Even more likely, it's wine. The handkerchief's Dad's, and how I was taught to iron. Place them 5 at a time, flat on the board, wet them with water from the soft plastic bottle with the pink perforated lid. Side to side, up and down, saturate them, not quite to dripping. Give the stack a quick press, center to edge, fold the top one in half, high to low. Mind the crease, press it well, fold in half, left to right, press again, fold in half, high to low. Press again, fold again, left to right, final press, perfect square, your reward. Place the steaming white square neatly aside, repeat until complete. I no longer press them. Neat creases now dull, minute hems lightly frayed, and once Nivea's white more like cream. Taught to place them neatly aside, I instead carry them daily, pressed to reflect on the origins of stains.
Yeah.
This next piece, I hope, offers a little summer for our day. This is called Window Haibun. The deep greens of high summer in a haze of drifting wood smoke from afar, framed in white with mullions squaring the view like a toddler's puzzle. Gnarly trunk of the ancient red pine stands strong while the limbs and leaves flutter behind it in the hot breeze. Monarch and swallowtail make lacy rounds from bush to blossom, sharing the wealth of pinks, purples, and yellow-sourced pollen, not unlike a drunk Amazon driver with bad GPS. On this side, a cool controlled temperature, whiff of pot and tobacco smoke, with hints of dog and cinnamon. Jazz bounces off space satellites into this room full of corners. A vague notion of ratatouille for supper flits like a butterfly through my thoughts. Smoke on the currents, safe inside another day. Frogs in the stew pot. I read the first draft of this poem, written about a time more than 30 years past now, nearly 20 years ago at an Old Town poetry reading series at the Creole Gallery. Revisions were finally completed this year. This is take 5, take 2. Jazz first spoke to me in the basement with Brubeck. Red vinyl spinning, brushes were sliding, mulligan moaning. I was turned on not knowing just what that meant. Stand-up bass holding that man up. Notice the lower his jaw, the richer his riff. Improvisation, the name of this spin. Never the same tune 2 times. A love of good wine and a love of jazz were all my bridegroom and I really shared. And then she came along, sang come rain or come shine. Only improv was likely from that moment Bring them home, 5. I want to know why Chad Joseph never returned to Trinidad from fishing this year. How fishing boats pass for drug boats. A carrier group patrols the Caribbean Sea, threatening sovereign nations with not a scrap of official authorization, just a kill order from the Secretary of War Crimes. I want to know how a count of 87 bodies since September continues to rise without charges nor evidence. Delete this regime, which is beyond redemption. Bring the fishers and families home. In August alone, 60,000 detained after being tased, shot, and beaten, held in the rain, half naked, necks pinned while pregnant, all under the regime and known. Bring them home. Eyes blazing from pepper spray, days after arrest, he started to cry, then stopped because it hurt and caused him more pain. Open toilet for 70, 3 a.m. feeds. So dehydrated they fall over, mouths foaming. No charges, attorneys. End this. Bring them home. I want to know why over 170 citizens were detained, including nearly 20 children, 2 who have cancer. I want to know why more than 130 activists were arrested, then their cases quickly and quietly dropped. I want to know what justifies these terrors. I want to know where the justice is. I want to know how to delete this tyrannical regime. These fuckers like bar past redemption. I want to know how you think you're immune when no one is safe anymore. For the love of all that is holy, wake up. Make some noise. The time is long past. Bring them home.
Hello, I am Shelia. I joined Voices about 3 years ago to sing a song, and they let me stay. This one is called Baptized in Purpose, and it's written by myself. I was born where the margins bled, where ink never tells the whole story, where streets bear the names of men who chained my ancestors and disregarded their glory, where the war on drugs was real life. I live in a system built like a house without doors. Scratch that. No doors for me. So I bust the windows out your house, and the glass in my hands, I became my ancestors' wildest dreams. My brilliance lives in how dare you be. My silence is thunderous. There is a quiet revolution in my silence. My life is a story to be told, paid in full with the purpose and the blood of my ancestors. You said the ladder was fair, but I find every rung slippery with old blood and new lies. So fuck it. I build a staircase. I walk into boardrooms with my Aunt Dolly's wisdom in my ear, my Uncle Jesse's unwavering spirit, and my mama's, I wish you would. When I speak, even the ceilings listen. It's called democracy, but baptized in class and chains. So daily, I baptize myself in healing waters of liberation. I link arms with my sisters, and we change the world. This is for my purpose. I will be the blueprint and the beacon. I am the system's reckoning, and my ancestors Hell, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
This one is called. This is called Black Girl Magic by Mahogany L. Browne. They say you ain't supposed to be here. You ain't supposed to wear red lipstick. You ain't supposed to wear high heels. You ain't supposed to smile in public. You ain't supposed to smile nowhere, girl. You ain't supposed to be more than a girlfriend. You ain't supposed to get married. You ain't supposed to want no dream that big, and you ain't supposed to dream at all. You supposed to do nothing but carry babies, and carry weaves, and carry felons, and carry families, and carry confusion, and carry silence, and carry a nation, but never bear an opinion. You ain't supposed to have nothing to say unless it's a joke. Because you ain't supposed to love yourself, black girl. You ain't supposed to find nothing or saying in all that brown. You ain't supposed to know that Nina, Beyonce, Cicely, Shonda, they shine, shine, shine. Black girl, you ain't supposed to love your mind. You ain't supposed to love. You ain't supposed to be loved upon. You ain't supposed to, you only supposed to voodoo chill mark and silence and style. You supposed to pop out babies and hide the stretch marks. You supposed to be still. So still till they think you're a statue. So still till you think you are a chalked outline. Until you look more like Medusa than Viola Davis. Until you sound more like Shanae than Kerry Washington. Until you side-eye more than Michelle Obama on a Tuesday. But you tell them that you are more than a hot comb and a washing set. You are Kuta Kente's kin. You are a black girl worth remembering, and you are a threat knowing yourself. You are a threat loving yourself. You are a threat loving your children. You black girl magic. You black girl fly. You black girl brilliance. You black girl shine. You black girl bloom. You black girl, and you turning into a beautiful black woman right before our eyes. And this is called
Owl.
Another poetry lover.
and item number 6. I want to know a name. Just one. The name of one black or brown soul missing. Don't worry. I'll wait. I'll wait the way we always wait. Waiting even though we are 40% of the missing. I want to know why damn near 0% of the headlines say our names. Tell me a name. One daughter, one son. A teacher who never clocked out, a lawyer who never made it home. Call them back to us. You don't even know about Tamika Houston that was 24, or sisters Diamond 10 and Tianda 3. Gone. I want to know the name of just one of the 34 black and brown women who have vanished in DC. Not decades ago, right now, in 2025. Under fluorescent lights and security cameras in a country that documents every single breath except ours. No breaking news, no primetime specials, no documentaries with somber violins, no articles written in urgent italics. Nothing. Just silence. Thick, heavy, choking silence. Silence so loud, it bruises. Bring them home.
Ruelaine Stokes, Griffin, Laurie, Hollinger, Shelia, Burks, Sarno.